Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but oh, hello guys, welcome! It is Christmas time here in the Holly Jolly Kitchen. It is the best time of the year, and I want to welcome you guys back to our special Christmas edition. My name is Miss Lori, and I'm your host, and it's a great day for you to be tuning in because Christmas is getting closer and closer. I can't keep myself from singing these days. I have so many favorite Christmas songs, and there's no better way to keep the cooking cheer lively in a kitchen than to sing loud for all to hear. Now, I would love to hear from you guys. What is your favorite song? So let's see. If your favorite Christmas song is Jingle Bells, I want you to raise your hand. Whoa, that's a lot of hands out there. Okay, and if your favorite song is Frosty the Snowman, let me hear you say thumpity thump thump. Whoa, we really have some Frosty fans in the house. What about Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree? That is such a great song. Okay, I know we have some Rudolph fans in the house. Let me hear you say, like a light bulb, if you think Rudolph is the best Christmas song. Well, I am sure that we probably missed a few favorites. So if I didn't name your favorite Christmas song, I want you to yell out the name of it on 3. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa. Well, as you can tell, we love Christmas here on this show. 2 more people that love Christmas are my friends, Graham and Reese. They're always cooking up something awesome in our test kitchen. Whether they're taking requests from viewers, creating some sort of concoction of their own, Reese and Graham are hanging out in the kitchen and are ready to make something awesome. So let's go ahead and check in with them now.
Hey Graham, has our latest test recipe come into the kitchen yet?
You mean this old thing? Yeah, but it's the worst. I've already made it.
Oh, well, hold up. You want to turn that saute down to a simmer and tell me what you're talking about? What do you mean you already made it? We're a team. You know, Reese and Graham, Graham and Reese. You can't just work on the recipes without me.
I'm sorry, Reese. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. It's not a big deal. I was honestly just trying to save your chef expertise for something that's a little more fun than today's test. Here, take a look. This thing is Snooze City, USA.
Hold the holidays. What kind of a challenge is this? Couldn't we have tried something a little more difficult than a no-bake cheesecake?
See, now you're feeling me. Somebody sound the alarm to wake me up because this cake is boring.
My bad, Graham. I should know by now if you say it's not a big deal, then it's cooler than Frosty on a Christmas morning. You know, I've eaten a lot of cheesecake over the years. There was that one with the milk chocolate and the white chocolate and then the dark chocolate, and it was covered with Oreos and milk chocolate sauce. That cheesecake was amazing.
Oh, and do you remember that time when I baked that one that was like if a birthday cake tornado ran right into a cheesecake volcano and exploded into the best thing I've ever tasted?
Oh man, that cheesecake was the best. But looking at the plan for this cheesecake, not so much.
Yeah, well, I guess it's about time I get this boring, blah-de-da-de-da, no-bake cheesecake out of the oven.
Stop right there, sous chef. The oven? You put this no-bake cheesecake in the oven to bake?
What in the whisk happened to this thing?
Well, let's take a look at our plan real quick. You put this cake in the oven, but this cake is a no-bake. So when you bake a no-bake cake, you get whatever this is.
Oh, I was wondering why this thing called for ice cubes. I was thinking this would be so boring that I really didn't have to pay attention to all the details.
Yeah, Graham, this cheesecake was supposed to be sitting in the freezer for the last 30 minutes.
Oh no!
Okay. Don't freak out. We need a plan. Let's just take it from the top.
Do you mean start over? Well, that would work out for us if this cake wasn't supposed to be finished by 3 p.m.
I think we're in a bit of boiling water here because it's 2:15 and this recipe takes a total of 3.5 hours to make from start to finish, and there is no way we're going to have this bad boy ready in the next 45 minutes.
Well, what can we do now? If we had a time machine, I could go back a couple of hours and force myself to follow the plan. Okay, Reese, that's the only answer. I need you to help me find a time machine. Do you think we can get one of those?
Yeah, right, Graham, I wish, but we both know there's only one thing we can do.
Okay, well, I guess since I'm the one that got us into this craziness, the least that I can do is call someone to help get us out.
Oh, Ginger Snap.
Oh, Ginger Snap is right. That dessert looked pretty rough. Seems like Graham and Reese forgot the first rule of cooking. Follow the plan that the recipe tells you. Now, if you've ever been in a kitchen, you've probably seen a recipe book. This is every chef's best friend. And when you follow the recipe exactly, you get an awesome end result that you and all of your friends, or in our case, viewers like you, can enjoy. Graham thought he knew what to do, but because he didn't stick to the plan, that no-bake cheesecake turned out to also be a no-eat cheesecake. Because he didn't trust the plan, he didn't get to enjoy the goodness that would have come from a yummy cheesecake. Well, fortunately for them, I like to run my kitchen on what I believe is the best recipe book. Now, this is not one that shows us how to make cookies, cakes, candies, or pies. This recipe book helps us to know how to make right choices inside and outside of the kitchen. Who knows what book I'm talking about? That's right, the Bible. You got it. Now, seeing Graham struggle to follow the plan reminded me of a time when a man from the Bible named Joseph was faced with a choice. He had to choose whether to believe God really had a plan for him or not. So let's take a look at Joseph's story.
God has a plan for our lives, and we can trust Him even when we don't understand all that He is doing. There's a story in the Bible where we see this is true. There was a man named Joseph, and he was a carpenter living in the town of Galilee. Joseph was engaged to a young woman named Mary and learned that she was going to have a baby. This didn't make him very happy, which makes sense because they weren't even married yet. You see, Mary knew this was going to happen because an angel told her it would. It was all part of God's plan. One night, while Joseph was asleep, an angel from the Lord came to him in a dream. The angel said, "Joseph, son of David, don't be afraid to accept Mary to be your wife. The baby inside her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son. You will name him Jesus. Give him that name because he will save his people from their sins." This all happened exactly how God said it would, many, many years earlier. God told his people that one day a special woman would be pregnant and give birth to a son. This baby would be called Emmanuel, which means God is with us. This is another name for Jesus. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel told him to do and got married to Mary. God had a plan for Joseph and Mary, and they trusted his plan. Even though you may not be sure about what God is doing through some of the crazy things happening in your life, you can trust him. God did have a plan for Joseph and Mary, and God has a plan for your life too.
As you saw from that story, Joseph was having a hard time believing that God had a plan for him and his future wife, Mary. Joseph couldn't see how everything was going to come together. But after the angel's visit, Joseph was sure that God had a plan. But I want to ask you guys, does God have a plan for you too? Yes, He sure does. And whether we can see all the details or not, we can believe that God has a plan for us. If Graham would have taken a look at the recipe, then he would have seen that the plan was to make a no-bake cheesecake. And you and I can look at God's recipe book, the Bible, to see that He has a good plan for each one of us. Let's say what we need to know together. You guys ready? Really simple this week. It goes like this. God has a plan, right? That's really easy. I bet you guys already got it. Ready? Let's do it together again. Ready? God has a plan. Perfect. So you can remember when you're wondering about things that God has a plan. And learning today that God has a plan reminds me of our special verse for our whole series, because Jesus is the biggest part of the plan. Do you guys remember our verse? Let me hear you say this after me. Ready? It goes, thanks be to God for His gift that is too wonderful for words. 2 Corinthians 9:15. Great job, you guys. You guys remembering that? We've been working on it for the last 3 weeks now. Jesus is God's plan and gift to the world. Well, it's time to wrap up this week's show. It was good to learn about God's plans this week. And now, whenever I have a hard time believing that it's all going to work out, I'm going to remember that God has a plan. God has a plan for all of us. He loves us and He wants what's best for us. If we follow the plan God lays out for us in His Word, we'll know how to live our best lives. So before we sign off today, let's bow our heads and close our eyes and pray. Dear God, we just want to thank You for loving us and sending us Your Son, Jesus, so that we can celebrate at Christmas. Help us to believe, even when we can't see it, that You have a good plan for our lives. We love You. Amen. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you'll remember that God has a plan for you, and I'll see you next time on Holly Jolly Kitchen. Goodbye.